Hello everyone, it's Rebel here with the Man United Agenda, and we have a jam-packed reaction show coming up for you, so stay with us for this one. Well, everyone, there was certainly a bit of everything in that Manchester United game today against Burnley. I am joined by the defensive coach, OMONDI Juma, who I'm sure is going to have much to say about the defensive play during this game. From all the way in America, we got Yank Talking Smack, aka Connor. But our very special guest today, from Turf Moorhouse TV, our Burnley fan, Dan, is going to be giving his views from the Burnley perspective. Very welcome, Dan.
And, thank you for having me on.
And a very big welcome to everyone that's in the comments as well. Hello, Katie. You're the first person that I've seen across the comments. So hello, Katie Musgrove. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to start with you, Dan, because obviously this is a point one, I would imagine, from your point of view. Just your general feelings from the game before we go anywhere into it.
All I'm going to say is I did a watch along for the game, and if you watch the first 45 minutes, there was a lot of F words, there were a lot of P words, a lot of B words. Literally, every one of them came out because it looked like the Burnley that we've seen all season. Dead, flat, no passion, no fight whatsoever. And then second half, it's like Dash has told every player to take a boot off, slap them with it, and gone, right, wake up. Fucking wake up and do something. And they've actually come out second half and absolutely just, you'd have thought that I'm gobsmacked at the fact I've just seen Burnley put a performance in. That's how bad our season's been, then I'm actually gobsmacked that why haven't we been like that all season?
Because you didn't have Veghorst.
But you know, I suppose just kind of picking up on a point that was made at the very end of the game, Burnley have got a great point against Manchester United today, but the gap to safety is actually increased, which is obviously probably a bit disappointing for you.
Yeah, I mean, the West Ham result against Watford has pretty helped, but Newcastle gaining points really hasn't. It's, you know, we could have done with beating Watford on Saturday, except we played like we did in that first half today for 90 minutes, and Watford should have had a penalty at the end of that game as well. So for us, we're going down, but we're going down farting. Unfortunately, it could be 45 minutes too late.
Got you. And I suppose just to give recognition, it was 100th career league goal for the man that got your leveler, Mr. Rodriguez. What a milestone for him today.
Yeah, to bag his 100th career goal, especially back at the town that he was born in. Burnley boy, playing for Burnley, and it's just, yeah, remarkable achievement for him. I remember, funnily enough, he was in year 9 and I was in year 7 when I first joined high school. And I megged him playing football one day and I went, ha, you'll never make it as a footballer. And here I am, and there he is. So
good one. Oh boy.
I suppose just as we mentioned milestones, just to kind of tick off a few more, the 920th game for CR7 today, and after tonight's lack of scoring from him, it's now his longest run without a goal for 12 years. So
wow. Is it still 5 games now without a goal?
That would make it 6 today.
6 now. Wow. Wow.
So Cristiano Ronaldo didn't score since his goal against Yi, actually. So that was his last Manchester United goal.
Right. That's bad.
Let's kick off the fun and games. On Monday, take away a few comments before we get into the meat of this sandwich.
Okay, just want to say, yep, I'm expecting a lot of comments today. Don't know what the feel's going to be like, but here we go. Yeah, like you said, big up to Kate. How you doing, Kate? Welcome to the channel. Medi's in the house. How you doing? Medi saying, I'm so damn mad. Here we go. I'm so damn mad. This was an effing disgrace. And Maguire, holy sugar, he was bad. And Rebel, do you want to add to that? Because you've been giving me hell all game. Yep, Cristiano Ronaldo's in the house. Mark Edmund, how you doing? He says, okay, but my dogs are they really tribute act. Oli says, what did he say? What did I say? So Oli must have called this as well as a draw. Mehdi again said no shoe in here. Ronaldo did nothing other than be terrible after he came on. Want to big up Paxton Road TV. This is our sister Spurs channel. They're doing really well. And they are rivals to top four as well. So they're delighted right now. This is Sam. He's come on and said, how much has that dented your top four hopes given the West Ham result? And Spurs have got many games in hand as well. We can come on to that. That's a great point. Matthew Bassett in the house. Mr. B done a great live commentary in the house saying, Sam, done top four done. Oh, no. Mr. B's given up. That is gas. And Mike Green is really upset. He's saying that was pathetic. Ole's come to sort of give us some hell, and everyone's disappointed. Burnley, oh no, someone's saying Burnley's going down. Cheer up, OMONDI, still above Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. That's the feel. I think people are disappointed, and I think we're going to go through the game and discuss it. But it's great to have you on, Dan. And just to say, didn't Rodriguez have a serious injury at one point, and he's come back into the game?
Yeah. I think that it were he had it at West Ham, West Brom, sorry. And then it sort of flared up again when he re-signed for Burnley as well. So it's good to have him back. As I say, we've got Vidra pretty much recovering from an hernia operation. Johan Berg Gudmundsson's out with an injury as well. So we've got 2 or 3 players coming back. It was nice to see Barnes get some minutes. However, as I've said numerous times this season, Barnes, the sentiment's there, but players eventually need to leave to further their careers. And he's one of those players now that has hit that age where if he wants to carry on being amongst the goals, he needs to move on. But he'll always be a claret no matter what he does. But yeah, J. Rodriguez, fantastic today. Came on, was it always in the right places? Felt Weghorst like Chris Wood, but with 2 feet. I'm completely contrastive opinions from the first 45 to the second. I've never been so buzzing off a point.
Do you know though, Dan? I think it was the true game of 2 halves when you look back at it.
Massively,
Of course, it was Burnley's 5,000th game since the formation of the Football League, which is another big milestone from today's game. But when you mentioned Weghorst, I thought he was very impressive, and I was in my colleague OMONDI's ear about how much of a torrid time he was giving what I considered maybe the weakest link in the Man United team, Maguire, during that game. How do you feel that matchup went, Dan?
Yeah, if anything, I was a bit more interested in the fact that it was up against Maguire and not Varane. I thought Varane would have been the one giving him a torrid time, sort of getting really up behind him. A couple of dodgy knees in the back or something like that, that you can get away with. But no, there were none of that. It were Maguire, and Maguire were pretty much on borrowed time. I mean, if that game was still going on now, he'd have probably been sent off. His head had gone. His head had gone pretty much, and I think even from the first goal that was disallowed, the one where he's again had a foul in the build-up to that. It's madness. Harry Maguire for me is trying to live on a price tag. He's trying to live on that price tag that they paid for, but he's not reciprocating. It's like Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV says he's always peed off about the fact that we wasted 5 million on Akinbaye at Leicester. However, Akinbaye at Burnley was absolute god. But it's a completely different setup. I mean, I know OMONDI, you're a big fan of Maguire, and I've been told and stuff, but I just think he's not got the credentials to be a solid Man United player. I dare say it, if he had somebody in the caliber of like Ben Mee, but in a sort of, because he's sort of, no matter what defender he's had at the side of him, they've sort of continued their careers. You got Michael Duff, who played until he was about 38. Tarkowski got into the England setup. Michael Keane got into the England setup. So having someone like that sort of makes you stand out would be a lot better. But if you're going to look like absolute dog shit at the side of Rafael Varane, a World Cup winner, then And in a way, to quote Alan Hansen, you're asking for trouble.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I said after the foul that Maguire picked up his yellow card, I was shouting for Lindelof to be brought on because I thought this guy's a liability tonight. He's made mistake after mistake after mistake, and there might have been, if it was a bit more advanced in play, a call that he could have picked up a more serious offence of taking down the last man denying the goal scoring opportunity and might have got his marching orders. So he was probably fortunate there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of them that could have gone either way. I can understand why the Burnley players were surrounding Mark Dean saying, come on, his last man. However, you could also shout that it's a perfect tactical yellow because he could have got away from him, because I think Maguire knew full well that once Weghorst had got through, he's pretty much, he's away. Maguire's not going to keep up. So it's daunting to look at it, because where has that ethos gone of Man United? Where has it gone? Because for me, all I see is 11 egos on a pitch when I look at Man United these days, and I just feel like there needs to be a togetherness. A team like Burnley down fighting at the bottom, we need to be together. We need to fight and stuff. But that's what Man United needs. You need to be that band of brothers. And at the moment, it's like that. It's like 11 players fighting over one girlfriend. It's madness.
I suppose let's break this down a bit more. In the first half, clearly United were the more assertive in that part of the game. We had Bruno pinging passes around the pitch. We had him making defensive interventions. We had our wing backs bombing up and down the wings, kind of doing overlapping runs. Our midfield was very functional. McTominay, Bruno and Pogba functioned together as a unit. And I think they maintained that a lot into the second half, because I thought McTominay was actually excellent today. Bat time, you will note that we are giving McTominay some credit just for reference. But then the second half, as you said, Daishi did a bit of a Fergie, threw a hairdryer, and the boys came out and played. They shut down Shaw. I think he only appeared, 25, 30 minutes in before he made his first run down the flanks to attack you in the second half. You essentially caused him to take up defensive duties. So I presume the game plan there was shut United's fluidity down and then take us on.
Yeah, it's so hard. I just think the way we came out that second half, I was sort of shitting myself in a sense, because it was like, how are we going to come out? We've been a bit like, I had people in the chat on the watch along saying, you may get something from the second half, because Man United all season have been a one-half team. You get a different team in the second half, or, vice versa. And it sort of showed. It really showed. I did not expect Burnley to come out and play like they did. They started playing sort of tiki-taka. I can't believe I'm saying that. I've seen Burnley play tiki-taka style football at Turf Moor. What? Like, that's rub your ass sort of stuff. What's all that about? And you've got to fear for Man United. I totally agree with their fans that the fact that West Ham won tonight obviously is daunting for you guys as well, in that hunt for the top four. There's a lot of fans saying, I don't want the top four now. Hit the Glazers where it hurts. However, all it takes is the Glazers to turn around and act like that arsehole at Bury and literally say, well, we're not going to pump any more money in if you're not going to fight. And it could just go horribly wrong. So it's a catch-22 situation for Man United at the moment. And I just fear for them, because they've got the makings of a top quality side. They just need the togetherness. They need to play as a team.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I suppose it's unimaginable for a squad of Man United's calibre, given the names that's in it, for us not to be in Champions League next year. Could you imagine Cristiano Ronaldo on a Thursday night? I don't think so.
No.
Let's just pull up some of the stats on the screen and have a look-see here. Oops, apologies. So what we have here is obviously 1 goal apiece, 8 shots for Burnley, 22 for Manchester United, 3 shots on target for Burnley, 5 for United. The shot accuracy is low numbers. I don't think either side would be happy with that. Block shots, 12 for United. Shots off the bar, 0. Shots inside the box, 15 for United, 3 for Burnley. And then outside the box, 7 for United, 5 for Burnley. How do you feel about those numbers? I'll start with a Monday. We get you into this one.
Yeah, it's very promising. A bit like Middlesbrough game the other day. We had good stats. We had 76% possession. Similar today. What I'm like to see, what I'm really encouraged by is that the play in the first half. Forget about the second half because they blowing out their arse, I think. But in the second half, in the first half, the sort of play we were seeing, we had about 3 or 4 passes across the 6-yard box. One resulted in a goal. A couple could have resulted in goals as well. It was a scramble in there for them. They really didn't like that. So that's how we want to go forward. So we had inside the box, 15 shots inside the box. That's magnificent. And I think going forward, as we're building, that's what we want to sort of be depending on because we're really struggling to score goals, but leaking goals as well. I mean, they scored from open play. I said they wouldn't score from open play, but they did today. I have to give credit to Burnley. So the stats are looking promising. I like the play on the eye as well. The play is looking promising as well. It just looked like an error today with Maguire getting drawn out, thinking he's trying to mark the guy. The guy was really subtle with that layoff. He's shown, even though he's a big man, I'm a big man myself. You always think, we're just good in the air, but he played a nice little pass. It bypassed Maguire, who'd gone rushing in, and he was out of position, and they scored. So that was a really good goal from Burnley, from a mistake from Maguire. I put my hands up. That was a mistake from Maguire.
Hang on.
Hold on. Clip it.
Clip this. This is a Kodiak moment, everyone. OMONDI Juma has criticised Harry Maguire. I do not.
My moment of the season. This is my moment of the season.
Just to finish up on that, I just think credit to Burnley. They put it in. It's about mental. I think Sean Dicey put it on them in the changing room. They've come out and they've completely swarmed us and put a lot of effort in. Sometimes, like when we scored against Middlesbrough the other day, we sort of took our foot off the gas. Similar today, we were 1-0 up and we started cruising, playing ball. We've walked out there, strolled out the second half, and didn't have that sort of desire. And we struggled. It was like night and day with the amount of chances and possession they had in the second half. So something needs to be done about that, which is an attitude thing. But I can't say anymore. I'm actually quite pleased with the performance of the boys, and going forward for these bigger games that are coming up, we're getting better. And that's the thing. We were in a crisis in October, November.
We're still in a crisis.
Well, maybe, but we're getting better. I can see the improvements here. I'm not going to be negative. I've said enough about Harry Maguire, and I just think you have to give credit. When a new guy comes into the Premiership, it takes a while to learn what he's got. And this guy is going to be difficult to deal with. He's 6'6". But it's what we didn't expect, or what kind of thing was his movement and his first touch. His first touch was really good, laying balls off and working with a partner around him. It's like the old-fashioned 4-4-2, big man, small man, and Rodriguez was small man today, making second runs off him, and that was really effective for them. So fair play, but Maguire had to take it, put his hands up, and say, yeah, he was at fault there.
Dan, contrast it for us. Give us the Burnley perspective on those numbers.
It was just completely strange to see Burnley taking pot shots from the edge of the box, not trying to just pump a ball in over the top and expect a big lad to get his head on it. Usually we're a threat from set pieces. Apart from this season, it's been a bit drab. So to see us even have 5 shots outside the box, I'm just like, whoa, can you send me that? I might frame it. It's literally madness. I mean, you can see from the total amount of shots, that United were absolutely dominant. They were firing balls in left, right, and centre. I just fear that for me, I'm already sort of accepted the relegation, and I think that's what probably hurts Man United fans more. That you're playing a team that pretty much the fan base has already said, we're going down. We're one of the 3 worst teams. We're not going to get out of it this year. And yet we can't beat them. And I think that's the more frustrating thing about it. However, that performance in the second half is one of the best I've seen all season. It's what we needed, a massive lift. And hopefully it continues on to Sunday when we play Liverpool. And hopefully we'll do you a favour there as well. If we take a point out of Liverpool, that'd be great. We'll certainly try. They're coming to the turf again. So, as I say, the stats are there. I just can't believe what I've seen from Burnley, mate. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked, and I'm over the moon at a point. I predicted 1-1, actually. I actually predicted 1-1 in my match preview. I said, with the littlest bit of faith that I've still got left, I'm going to go for a 1-1. And I'm glad to see that it paid off. However, as the bookies say, it matters more when there's money on it, and stupid me did not put money on it.
Would you believe, Dan? We were in the same scoreline. I predicted a 1-1 in the video I recorded for the watch along that we did
Wow.
seeing this show. So I also felt that there was probably going to be a sting in the tail for us. But Connor, you're all the way across there. It's early in America, and you're sitting there at the start of your day with disappointment, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was fun because during my lunch I was watching it, and first half I think we were easily the better team, far and above. I think we were the better team, and Amundi, I know you love to be Mr. Positive, and I respect the hell out of you for that. I'm going to start off by saying, Amundi, I respect the hell out of you for being constantly positive. I respect you because for me it's difficult if we're this bad at being clinical against Middlesbrough, and I'm sorry, Dan, but Burnley as well, then what the fuck is going to happen when we're up against Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, and City, and West Ham, and Tottenham?
Connor, it's okay. It's okay to get your half and half Burnley United shirt out now. Don't worry about it.
It's just frustrating because we get 15 shots inside the box. We have 30 total shots against Middlesbrough, and we have 2 goals to show for it combined. Now, I guess 3-1. If both of our disallowed goals were given, my score line's correct. I'd just like to say that now. If Maguire wasn't an absolute tosser and learned to keep his hands to himself, and Pogba didn't decide to absolutely just put his balls in the back of a defender's freaking head, it would have been 3-0 going into half, and my prediction would have been correct even with the goal. But I can see the positives, but I can also see the positives that can actually be made to negatives. Yes, it's great that we're creating so many chances, but it's against a Middlesbrough side that's in the Championship. And it's a Burnley side that, like Dan said, is pretty much resigned to being relegated, even with Weghorst coming in. They're pretty much resigned to being relegated. And the fact that we're putting up 20-plus shots, 15-plus that are inside the actual box, and we're coming out with 2 goals. So I think it was, 22 goals? 22 shots we had today? That means there was 52 shots by United in the past 2 games, and we'd made 2. Yeah. That is disgusting.
Do you as Man United fans feel a bit aggrieved as well that the same guy on VAR was the same guy you had in the Borough match?
Funny how that goes. Funny how that goes.
You know what? Like all these issues, you can say referee, VAR.
They were right calls for this shit.
Let's just stick. Sometimes stick to the football. We didn't finish our dinner, as Connor likes to say. We didn't finish our dinner today. We had, like you said, 15 shots in the box. We need to put this stuff away. And if we want to be really critical, I think it's just about getting that being more fluid with our play. I thought Sancho was outstanding today as a wide man. Both sides. They mixed it up a lot. And what we do want to see is like getting numbers in the box and finishing off like that. So some things we've got to be positive about. I know what you're saying, Connor. I do hear you about the goals that we could have scored in the first half. And at halftime, I was really buzzing. I thought we were going to cruise away with it. But there you go again. It's like the Premiership is best league in the world, and you have to take your hat off to Burnley and big up Dan for coming on. I mean,
second half is so confusing.
Your chest is taking up the whole screen. You're so proud. I can see it,
That's it.
And I do,
I've even got a sports bra on as well. I've even got a sports bra on to try and tape them down a bit as well. But
no, it's for the sake of football. You got Sean Dice working on a budget and really trying
of course,
compared to Newcastle. Obviously, they've got 2 points on you today, so and you still game in hand on them, a couple of game in hand on them. So I'm really, I'm supporting Burnley with that. I want you to stay up just because it show pound for pound he's a better coach. Maybe working with.
Well, he is a better coach. It's a thing though that Dyche is probably one of the top 4, top 5 managers in the entire Premier League right now.
England.
And I know that's extremely controversial, but I bet you right now you give him a way bigger budget and he's got this team at least mid-table, if not higher. It's the fact that he's been able to keep this team up, keep this team working, and keeping this team not only running well, but actually picking up results against teams they have no right to get results against. And it's not like this is the first time. What do we call Burnley at the beginning of every year? They're the bogey team, the team that you should expect to get 3 points from, home and away. That's a 6-point season going to Burnley and having them at your home space. But yet, in the end of it, most teams usually take max 4. If not, some in the higher section of the table, sometimes only take 2. It's extremely hard to play this Burnley team, and a lot of that credit you have to give to Dyche because he's now done that under 2 owners. Pace has given him a little bit more money to play with, which is why we've seen the likes of Cornet and Weghorst come in. And I think we'll see more come in the summer, especially if they stay up. But Dyche has been the man. And
the thing is, I feel as well, Connor, that we're in a transitional period. Definitely don't get them mixed up. We try to play traditional with that boring 4-4-2. Transitional period meaning obviously that we've signed the likes of Weghorst, who's got a bit more ability at his feet. We've got the likes of Cornet. We tried to sign Mislav Orsic from Dynamo Zagreb as a cam. We've tried to go a bit more on the floor, try and adapt to the league pretty much, because the league's changing season in season out. We need to adapt to the way that the football's going. We can't stick with this dinosaur football, long ball all the time. However, if that's going to be the sort of football that we have to sit there for 90 minutes going like this, waiting for one goal, I would take it if it means that we stay up. I look at our squad now and I think we've got pretty much a retirement centre playing. They're all 35, 36, they're all has-beens now. They're pretty much ready to pick up the last pay packet. You're asking a load of 30-odd-year-olds to be able to adapt and change to a bit of a fast, free-flowing game. It's not going to happen, and that's probably what's cost us this season. So we do need to sometimes go back to basics, do the hard stuff, and I feel in the second half we did do that. But we also mixed it up with a bit of creative flair, and luckily it came off thanks to the feet of Weghorst.
Thank you, Maguire.
I think it would be fair to say, though, that you definitely traded up from Wood with Weghorst. And when you sum up the implications of today's game, the damage to United's top 4 chances is probably more significant than the damage to Burnley's survival chances, because you do have those key games in hand with your new striker. And you did mention the thing about the retirement age, the Zimmer frame players that are about to pick up their pensions. We do have a number of them here at Manchester United too. Matic, Mata, Cavani, and Cristiano are all heading towards the
You've just announced Burnley's summer transfer targets there. Well done.
to kind of sum up, I suppose, our best and worst, I have gone with the title today, Maguire, the weakest link, ? So that is a bit of an Anne Robinson-esque type quotation. If you're not familiar with Anne Robinson, she hosted a quiz called The Weakest Link, and she was synonymous for calling.
Oh, I know what The Weakest Link is. That show, she's ruthless. And I've seen clips of that show. She is ruthless.
And I think, with regards to Maguire, I think we have to be ruthless. And I'm going to give him Monday a chance to defend his man in a second. But you could argue between chalking off that Varane goal, his opening account, and that key foul that he made that could have been inches away from being a red. He was the weakest link in Manchester United's side tonight. And he was the difference in us getting 3 points and possibly leaving with nothing.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, look, I am known for defending Harry Maguire. I think he's a good, solid defender. He's probably England's #1 defender. Gareth Southgate is a better judge than me, and he's been like that for the last 5 years. I think with the tag of 80 million, he's always going to get the slap head thing as well. I think sometimes people target him for abuse and that kind of thing. And any kind of mistake, you can go on YouTube right now and type Harry Maguire funny mistakes and you see him falling over. They did the same with Phil Jones, any United player like that. When you see today, for example, I was hoping he would step up and start delivering because he's got thick skin. He's come back from a lot of, banter and thing recently. When we were under Ole, we were losing a lot. But obviously, when he got drawn in, he was so focused. Sometimes I feel he gets so focused. He said, right, I'm marking this guy. But you need to learn. You need to understand how this guy plays. And this guy peeled off him and he went with it. And he went a bit too late. And as a defender, sometimes you can say, right, I'm not going to get the ball there. Let me just keep my shape. And he actually went with the guy and it opened up the space for the guy to come in. And that is a mistake. As regards to the set pieces, I'm really pleased with our set pieces today. We've got an issue with set pieces, as you know, Dan. We haven't scored a set piece
scored
in a long time. And we mixed up our corners today. I thought Harry Maguire had a great chance to score at the end from a set piece. He went for a head and closed his eyes.
Yeah.
How is your head that wide and you can't hit it?
I know, but imagine if he scored there, that would have been retribution, and shown a lot of character.
I do agree, Amondi. I think it is a positive that we're using school ground and like training ground tactics instead of just, let's just whip to the front post and hope something happens.
Yeah,
I like that we're actually mixing it up because it shows that the person we hired at the beginning of the season specifically to help us score and defend set pieces is actually doing his fucking job.
Yeah.
If we're actually trying stuff now.
Big up, Mark Edmund.
I'm sorry, I'm comparing him to Phil Jones based on the banter that they receive. You see the one with Phil Jones is making the faces or rubbing his
He's
head.
going to go down to history as the next Phil Jones, Maguire for us because of just how.
One thing I would say, guys, let's not get too much on his back. I mean, it's not going to help the player. It's not going to help the team. It's highlighted. We all agree, even myself. I don't defend the undefendable, and I think even today I thought that was a big error he made. But I think it was a set piece when he's the guy you target on a set piece for the free kick when we scored. It was disallowed. I think he made a decoy run for Varane to come in. I thought that was drilled from the training ground. That's what we expected. So
he just made it too obvious that he was screening.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to be a little bit more careful. Some players are very good at hiding the fact that they're cheating. I see it. There's one guy who literally he breaks down every United States men's national team game. And he specifically points out Musa and McKennie because they're the kings of being the cheatiest little bastards every game. And they'll, arms are flying here, doing things here. I think he just needs to be. I think it's a great tactic. He just needs to be less obvious on the screen. If he just kind of puts his hand like this and just acts like basically he was just run into and he's not doing anything wrong, I think he's fine. But he puts his arms like this. Yeah. And when you go like this, and you kind of catch the player running into you, which that can sometimes be an instinct reaction. Put your arms out like when someone's running at you. Because he does that, you can see he's kind of grabbing on and kind of actually screening him, and that's where the call comes from. So I think it's a little bit more training. And on Monday, I'll give you credit. Maguire had moments that I think he did very well. He had a big, big hoof up the field, about a 30-yard punt up to Rashford, where unfortunately Tarkowski is just about 40 times more stronger than Rashford is. And absolutely just bullied him. But he had his moments.
I think when we're talking about Maguire, when we paid for him, we thought we were getting a Porsche 911, but we ended up with a Fiat Punto.
I bet that's scripted. It's not scripted. You've got enough jokes for Maguire, yeah. But Rebel and Dan, can we just quickly, is this fair? Are we being fair here? Criticism, one mistake, obviously, is clear, but are we being fair or are we being ruthless here?
All right, sorry, Dan. I'd say it's being fair.
Another question: is he better than Ben Mee? Is he better than Tarkowski?
Is Harry Maguire better than Tarkowski or Ben Mee?
Over to you, yeah. Over to you. Just be fair. What's your opinion on all that?
I know what
I've never really thought of it like that. I mean, I sort of idolise Ben Mee playing as a sort of centre back / left back in the changing room. I've sort of look more at a defensive side of things like you do. However, would I take Harry Maguire over one of them? That's a massive question.
That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes.
Yeah. I think that says it all. I mean, after his performance today, then obviously not. But however, if you'd have got the Harry Maguire that were banging form at Leicester, then I'd have took him in a heartbeat.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you right now. So I don't know if I get the to go ahead with this, but yeah, there is some breaking news at a London stadium, out of Spurs, not London Stadium. So Conte has officially confirmed that everybody knows Christian Romero's on a loan. He's on a loan deal right now at Spurs. Conte's come out and said, no, we're buying him. There's an obligation to buy, and we're buying him. They've already started the paperwork to make him official to be a permanent Spurs player. So that's actually, honestly, I think a very good move by them. And that worries me because that's a decent defender now that they have it on permanent deal.
Absolutely. And they have done some good moves during the January window. I think we'll all agree as well. And it has strengthened their position. But I want to come to man of the match. And I'm going to preempt the chat. And I'm going to start with my own, if you don't mind. Overall, I thought on his effect in the second half, Weghorst actually would have deserved man of the match. But from a United perspective, given that we are giving the Manchester United man of the match, in our case, I'm going to say Bruno Fernandes. I thought he was immense. He played all over the field. He put in a bursting run to make a defensive interception. His passing was quality all game. And I just feel that from a Manchester United point of view, he was definitely our best player on the pitch. But overall, on his impact, it was a toss-up between me and Verthurst overall, I feel. And I'm going to throw it over to our Burnley fan for his man of the match next.
Yeah, from a Man United perspective, I'm going to say you've probably hit the nail on the head. Bruno had a really good game. Jadon Sancho was very, very strong as well. I think he's in there for a shout. From a Burnley perspective, Wout Weghorst is definitely up there. I'd have to give it to Nick Pope. Sorry, I think some of the saves he pulled out pretty much kept us still alive and in that game. The one where he it's just hit his kneecap and he's sort of thrown himself out. It reminded me of remember the one at Old Trafford when Tom Heaton spread himself against the Zlatan Ibrahimovic effort. It sort of screamed similar to that. And I thought some of his saves today were pivotal to keeping us in the game. So, yeah, I'd give it to Nick Pope from a Burnley perspective. If I had to choose from a United perspective, I'll go different and I'll say Sancho.
Thank you. Yank?
No, I have to agree. I think Bruno was sharp. I think one person who's going to go under the radar but deserves a lot of credit, especially because he's in a battle to keep his spot, basically, and that's Luke Shaw. I think you can kind of give him some blame on that first goal. I know Mr. B and Top were going after him after that first goal. But I think especially in the first half, he was excellent. Making runs forward. He was the one getting the ball into the box for us pretty much every time. He's the one who had the assist on the one goal we had. I think he was extremely solid, and I think he'll go under the radar. But it is Bruno, man of the match for me. I think he was great. Sancho, I think that's the best I've seen him play, dribbling-wise and just being able to create for himself. I think that's the best I've seen him play since he joined. And then for Burnley, I mean, I'm kind of two minds. Weghorst, I think Burnley doesn't score. If that's Wood, if that's Vidra, if that's Rodriguez.
No, I agree. I have to agree with that.
His ability to dance away from two players, they don't have another striker that has that ability to dribble the ball.
He did it earlier in the game as well, which I felt was a turning point for Burnley as well, where he dropped into the midfield, took on about 3 or 4 players. And I even said on my watch along, I said, that's basically him coming back and saying, listen, there's 4 of you in this midfield. I'm doing your fucking job. Like, I'm having to drop deep. I'm having to practically be Harry Kane for you. I'm having to drop that deep. I'm practically playing midfield. And in the end, after that, we started to play a bit of football. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, Connor.
I think Pope is the reason that they didn't lose, to be honest, because I still don't know how Pope gets his front of his knee on that Cavani header enough to where it stays out. Because I thought that was
easier to score. It's easier for Cavani to score that than miss.
Yeah, and he hits it off the very front of his knee. And so I think Pope kept him in this game, but the only reason that they really were able to get the point was Weghorst. I think Mee was phenomenal, but I think Weghorst, this is his first game where he's really, I think, and Dan, you might agree with me, this is a game that he's really shown that he was worth the money you paid for him, and that he's definitely a step up from Chris Wood. As much as Wood is, going to go down as probably a Burnley legend for how much crap he put up with, and his consistent performances only against Leicester. But I think Wout showed exactly why he was brought in, and he's my man of the match overall for me.
Omondi Juma.
Yeah, regarding Burnley, I thought that every man in the second half put on a great performance. I thought they were really, really good in the second half. It's all about attitude, isn't it? And that desire. Yeah. And when you look at that's what we had in the FA Cup. You get lower teams playing against Premiership teams, and there was a few upsets and a few games that went to extra time. It's all about desire. You look at these players, you think, wow, these are top players. Can I really step up to them? And you can. If you do the right things, you can as a team. And this is what shows it's all about having a great team and, that cohesion within the team. I thought the 2 centre-backs for Burnley were magnificent today, because when you're talking about 15 shots with inside the box and organisation, that's the main thing. They're so organised that they keep it together. So I would give the 2 centre-backs, I can't split them, because they're the ones clearly organising, keep getting the fullbacks tucked in, shuffling left and right. As a 4-4-2, he's got to go left and right, and just keep maintaining that. And to do that over 90 minutes against a top team like Man United was magnificent. So Ben Mee and James, I'm not going to pronounce his surname. As regards to Man United,
I think honestly, as soon as Tarkowski leaves, if Tarkowski and Mee leave, that team is screwed. I think honestly, losing someone like Tarkowski in that to Newcastle is actually would have been worse than losing Wood to Newcastle.
Well, Tarkowski is obviously going to go on a free at the end of the season. You know, I can't see him signing another deal, even if we were to stay up. So he's free to talk to whoever the heck he wants. But Ben Mee's come out and said that he wants to see out the rest of his career as a Burnley player. So
that's going to be lovely to hear.
Fair play to him.
You know something? You guys have got a market to purchase your players from. It's probably lower down the league, and you will identify someone who will become the next James Tarkowski or whatever.
Well, we've got somebody on the bench at the moment, Nathan Collins. He's only 20 years old. We brought him in from Stoke, another Stoke reject, as people like to say. But you know, he'll come in, slot in alongside Ben Mee, and Ben Mee will turn him into an Irish international. You know, in the main squad. So
Irish
I'm looking forward to it.
So just to finish up for my man of the match for Man United, I'm with Connor. I think on the same page as Connor on this one. I think Bruno's magnificent. We know this, and what he did today, like what Rebel was saying, tracking back from the break from their corner, from our corner, getting back like that. Really, that just shows what sort of player he is. His movement, his touch, his one-touch flick. I thought Pogba was magnificent. All the technical players really good today. You can see the ability to pop it around the corner, first touch, the things you just think is just standard, but the first touch is difficult. But me, Sancho, he was the best player for me because I was really impressed with how he performed. Some of the balls, look at his first touch, guys. This is like elite. And I think he started today was one of those games where I'm thinking, okay, this is what we paid the money for. This is the Dortmund player that we saw. This is the talented player we saw. He might, if we look at the balance between him and Rashford still needs to sort out his decision making, even though he did set up the goal and play it across the 6-yard box. I thought that was great. Beyond that, sorry.
I could actually come in there on that point. I want to get your viewpoint on this one actually. We saw Sancho on the left today for the majority of the game, and Rashford rotated over to the right-hand side. Now, for a player that we bought specifically to cover our right-hand side of midfield, did you find this move unusual? And as we do know that Rashford is less effective off the right-hand side.
No, I just think you see a lot of variety. They were moving around in the first half, especially Cavani was on the left for a period of time, and Rashford went down the middle. So I think it gives defenders nightmares when you're suddenly up against Cavani. You've done all your homework all week. What he does, how do I mark him? Like Harry Maguire tried to do on the 6-6 guy, and then suddenly you're up against Rashford. It's like, oh my god, I can't get too close because he can get in behind. That kind of thing. So I like that when you interchange and move players like that. I think what we had with Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford at one point when they scored a lot of goals one season, that the same thing applied there. They were moving around and giving defenders fits.
So what you saw was a fluid front three.
Yeah, you did see that, especially when Cavani was on. When Ronaldo's on, he sort of stays more central. But when Cavani was on,
that's another thing as well. Fair play to Sancho. He's obviously looked at that team sheet. He's got his chance, and today I think he's took it. You know, the fact that I felt for Sancho when you signed him, and then all of a sudden you announced Ronaldo not long after. It was almost like, oh shit, like I've come in for big money, and all this has happened. So, I mean, he's come in. I think Sancho's got his chance, and I think he's took it pretty well. And I think he'll probably see his name definitely on the team sheet next time as well.
Matthew with the absolute comment of the entire video. Burnley's man of the match was Maguire.
But though, could you counter that argument actually with Ronaldo coming in, that it's after taking some of the heat and attention away from him, in that there's the big name, and that yes, you paid a lot of money for Sancho, and even though he may not be hitting the heights, he was protected in a way by the fact that there was a big name signing in the summer that deflected some of the write-ups on Sancho.
Potentially. I mean, I guess so, in a sense. Also, you sometimes do bring a fan favourite back to give the club, the squad a boost. But yet you'd expect that at a team that's lower down the division, you know, to bring a club legend back. at United, you'd expect the players that are already in the ranks to be strong enough to already fight for the cause. So I don't know. That's another one. It's sort of catch-22. It could go either way, but no, I do get what you're saying, Rebel. To be fair.
Yeah, and some would argue that the return of Ronaldo did cost us a central midfielder that we were looking for in the summer. So there is a lot to be weighed up there. But I suppose we are getting on in the show, and I want to give you the spotlight, Dan. Where do you see Burnley being at the end of the season? And just let everybody know where we can find you. So we're going to put you up on the big screen and give you a few
And also, Dan, tell the people in the audience to give us a like as well, if you don't mind.
Definitely will do. Definitely will. I mean, first and foremost, I'll say it now, even with that fight, I do think that we are still going to go down. However, I've got to keep that little bit of faith while it's mathematically possible, and fingers crossed we can stay up. But I'm sort of already resigned to relegation. It's just the manner in which we've performed this season that hurts the most. But seeing that second half today, if we can keep that up in the coming games, we've always been stronger in the second half of the season. So I will keep an essence of optimism, but we'll see. I think the next time you see Burnley next season will be in the Skybet Championship. However, guys, do like this video. Don't worry, OMONDI. I will do my purpose. Honestly, do like the video. These guys are doing absolutely fantastic work on the scene, not just for Man United, but for clubs all over. And very, very well spoken as well. Opinions are top notch as well. So yeah, please do like this video. You can find me, however, as it says just below there, Turf Moor House TV on YouTube, and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, just Turf Moor House. But yeah, please do check us out. Please do subscribe, and we're doing just a lot more football content as well. There's not just Burnley content. So yeah, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I didn't expect to get a point today. So you know what? I thought I'd be sat here absolutely fuming. So thank you for the opportunity and to come on and at least be happy about it, I suppose.
Dan's preparing his. Dan's already booking his tickets to Millwall next season.
Big up and good luck with your channel, guys. Don't forget Turf Moor House TV. Make sure you go now. Stop what you're doing now. Go and subscribe to his channel. Big up.
Go check out his one chip challenge.
Yeah. He'll be having the jalapeno challenge if you get him to X amount of subscribers.
Oh, I did that one chip challenge. That was dreadful. Honestly, it was horrible.
Gotta get in your missus' ear to see if you can do like the double jalapeno challenge at 400.
No chance. Honestly, when I cut the camera after that one chip challenge, I was like crying. I was actually crying. It was so hot. I managed 8 minutes without having to have any milk, water, or anything. However, it does say 5 when I hold the camera up, but I did have the timer set originally. Then my missus took the phone off me and restarted it. I'd already done 2 or 3 minutes. So yeah, it was absolutely painful. My eyes are streaming. I'm crying. I've got heartburn. It was the worst thing in the world. But however, I don't think it'll amount to the pain I'll feel if we do get relegated.
No, if you do want to see OMONDI Juma take on the one chip challenge, hit a like on the video, and if we get to 60 likes on this video, OMONDI Juma will do the one chip challenge live on air.
That'd be class.
So be sure to stay tuned for that. But we will be back.
70, I'm definitely not doing it.
At 70 likes, Connor's doing it.
Not a chance.
Come on, guys.
I'm the most pasty guy here. If anybody's going to absolutely just look terrible doing that, it's going to be me.
But I suppose, guys, we have dug through all of this. We will, of course, be back tomorrow, and we're going to have a very special show in that we're going to look at the implications for top 4 for Manchester United for the rest of the season. We will have a panel of guests with us again tomorrow, so be sure to come back and join us for that. But for now, I have been Rebel, and I want to thank Dan very much for joining us today and giving us the Burnley perspective.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you very much.
You're very welcome back anytime at all here on the channel.
Get the fuck out of here with that comment box. I will find you. I will find you for that comment alone.
What comment are we looking at? We need to get this up on the screen.
Not a chance. I'd rather burn myself to a crisp.
There we go, lads. Box
Hey,
has
don't worry
extended the
about it.
challenge.
Rebel, on Monday, I've got the inbox messages of Connor saying he's bought a Burnley shirt with Tarkowski on the back.
It never showed. It never showed up.
It didn't show up, though.
It never
didn't show up.
showed.
Customs,
Even the people
customs
I
wouldn't
bought it
allow
from knew that it was a piece of shit and burned it on the way in.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Everyone,
bath time. Behave yourself, man. Behave yourself. You know the guy Ty from Arsenal Fan TV. Come on, man.
to summarize, it was Burnley 1, Manchester United 1. Thank you, and a very good night to everyone.
Bye-bye.